back to my YouTube channel, #MovieBae. I am MovieBae, and in this video, I'm going to be recapping and reviewing episodes 11 through 13, the finale of Season 4's Netflix The Circle. Of Netflix's Season 4 The Circle. Boom. But before I get to that, though, go ahead and drop down and hit the subscribe button, because here on MovieBae, I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television, and if that is the type of content that you find yourself looking for, you might as well hit the subscribe button. So we left off with Mama Carol and Emerson being left up for elimination. Now, they had to meet in the same room to await their news of who will be leaving the game. Now, when Carol/John walks through the door, Emerson is not disappointed, but he admits that he was indeed fooled. Now, Mama Carol talks about how Yuling is playing the game and that he, meaning John, will not go down without a fight. So Frank and Yuling start to deliberate. Frank and Yuling give props to Mama Carol in his plea. I keep saying his because, it's being played by a guy. But they feel like they won't be able to trust Mama Carol in the long run. Now, Yuling is worried that if they save Carol, their other alliances would be confused by their choice. Now, Frank feels that he owes Everson one because Everson and Imani saved Frank, and in turn, Frank was able to save Yuling. But Everson is new to the circle and is possibly impressionable, so his loyalty might be wavery. Well, deliberations are over, and we find out that Mama Carol is indeed blocked. Now, at first, when Mama Carol's picture turned around, I was thinking that she was the one who was safe based off of their facial expressions. And then I was like, oh, wait, Carol is the one that's blocked. So that means Everson remains in the game. So I feel like neither player has a chance of winning the overall game. However, being Frank and Yuling, I would have blocked Everson because he's more likable and Mama Carol has literally only Brew as an ally. I would have explained to my alliances later what the overall game plan was. But anyhow, John/Carol is eliminated, and he decides to give Everson the rundown of the game. He says that Brew is trustworthy, but you need to watch out for Yuling because she is playing the game. He also says that Everson needs to flip the numbers in order to win because obviously Frank, Yuling, and Rachel, they all have the numbers at this point. John says that John says the same thing that I say every time I watch a competition show. AKA America's Next Top Model. Because if I'm up for elimination and I get eliminated, the person who was chosen over me better win the entire fucking game. And I just like that he said that because, bitch, the fuck, you were chosen over me, so you better take this shit all the way home. Now, it's the next morning in the circle, and we start off with Mama Carol/John's video message. He says that he was catfishing because his personality would have came off catfishy if he came in as his 24-year-old self. He also says that if you have made a genuine connection in this circle, you might want to double check that because although he was a catfish, he felt that he was being more genuine than a lot of other people that are currently still in the circle. So afterwards, Brew admits to the group that he had his suspicions about Mama Carol, but regardless, they had a strong, genuine relationship. But the group calls bullshit except for Nathan. Nathan is cool with it because he is too a catfish. And if Brew is cool with catfish, then that is exactly where his alliance should be. So circle chats for this episode. Immediately after the video message, Brew reaches out to Frank and Yuling. They are the only 3 original players left in this game. And Frank admits that it would be nice to have all the OGs in the finale. So in this chat, we do get an answer to my long-awaited question about why Brew really, really wanted a mom and son relationship with Mama Carol. And it's because, like I kind of guess, either he is not close with his mom or he's really close with his mom, and we find out that he is very close to his mom. We also talk about Frank losing his parents and then Yuling not being as close with her family, more than likely because of cultural values, and she's not as traditional as Asian cultures or families are, old school versus new school type thing. But they kind of brand themselves as Friend Bruling as the OG alliance, quote unquote. So the circle game for this episode, the circle game for this episode is called Portrait Mode. Now they have 30 minutes to paint another player in anonymous mode. Let's talk about this game, yo. So Frank was given Everson to paint, and he just paints him as a cruise director. Something nice, something sweet. Yuling had to paint Brew, and she highlights his amazing personality. And Imani/Trevor is throwing a fit in his room. Like, when I tell y'all, I had to stop and rewind that part like 3 or 4 times because I was cracking up. Like, he was literally throwing a fit, jumping around the room because he's mad that everybody's being so nice. Like, I was literally crying, laughing. I was crying, laughing. It's replaying in my head because he was throwing a whole temper tantrum. But I completely agree. Like, we're in anonymous mode, y'all. Like, call some shit. Play the game. So then we go to Rachel, and she was chosen to paint Imani, and she painted her as a hot mama. Now, Trevor, who was upset that everybody's being so nice, had no problem with the photo of him or the person he's portraying being a nice portrayal. Nathan is also skeptical as to why people are not taking advantage of the anonymous mode. So then we get to Brew. Brew has to paint Rachel, and he paints her as spilling the tea. She guesses that it is Brew, and that that's not good if he wants to climb his way to the top with Frank and Yuling's alliance, because Rachel is also in there. Now, Imani, the person who was throwing a fit, he was assigned to paint Nathan and paints him like a split face. Is he 22 or is he 45? And Yuling is hot and disgusted by this portrait. Brew feels like he is being taken for a ride by everyone he is close to, because it's like, damn, am I cool with another catfish? Now, Nathan gets the same shirt that was painted in the portrait, and I just thought that was so funny because, like, I didn't care for Nathan at first, but he really is, like, funny, and he takes risks and chances in this game. Like, he's a legit game player, and as a person who loves competition shows, I can appreciate the Nathans, okay? Now, Nathan had Frank to paint, and I learned a new word, malign, because he wants to malign Frank, or spider slander Frank's character, and he draws him as a snake and a backstabber. Now, Frank's reaction kind of makes me sad because I guess he like really took that to heart. Like, it's like he tried to shake it off, but at the same time, even when it was brought up later down the line, and we'll mention that later down the line, it bothered him every time he had to talk about it. But I feel like he should just recognize this is gameplay. Like, I'm not even really too worried about it because I know who I am. Now, this final picture, though. Everson has to paint Yuling. And when I tell y'all, this picture petrified me the moment he started painting it, I was like, well, I'm going to have nightmares. So he paints Yuling as a monster, like a demon-like character, like something that you see in your night terrors, eating up the circle, saying, will she save you? She's a flake flirt and a game player. And the score, shout out production, was right on point when they revealed this picture. Frank is pissed that everybody in the circle is talking about this fake family shit, but they are coming so hard at one another while they're in anonymous mode. Now, Nathan is hoping that Yuling doesn't think it's him because of the fake flirt thing, but she kind of think it is him. And he wants everybody to be mean, but then, like, it's starting to backfire on him because, like I said, Yuling is kind of like fake flirt. Is this Nathan did Nathan paint this thing about me? Now, y'all, like this video if Everson's picture of Yuling scared the shit out of you. Like, I'm like, no cap. Like, I'm thinking about it right now. I don't have a picture up. I don't have the video playing. That picture is in my head. It's very haunting. It's very disturbing. And I'm surprised it came from happy little Everson. But now that the game is over, it's clear that people are coming for the influencers. All top 3 people, Frank, Yuling, and Rachel, had bad pictures painted about them. And I fucking love it. As a viewer, I love the drama. Everybody is skeptical after the game and is starting to think that it's all about strategy and malice at this point. Yuling says she only trusts Frank for real at this point in the game. Circle chats for this episode. Rachel decides to hit up Imani to talk about the portrait mode game. Now, Rachel admits that Yuling's picture was scary, and it was, and that she doesn't want it to sway her relationship with Yuling, but baby, that energy is out there now. And she's wondering about Yuling, like kind of like second guessing her, like, where did Yuling even come from by saving Brew first the last time? But at the end of the day, it's a game. Like, everybody you talk to don't have to tell you who they talk to. If that's the point, I mean, if that's the purpose, like, they're not playing the game. But basically, Imani solidifies her relationship with Rachel, promising her a spot high in the rankings. Now, Brew decides to message Everson and Imani because he's never gotten to speak with them before, and decides to come in lighthearted, playing two truths and a lie. This is where we found out that Lizzo probably, quote unquote, shot her shot at Brew. Not saying Brew's like a bad looking guy, and I think I feel like she probably made a comment, like the comment that he said that she made, like, oh, you my fine little white boy from wherever the fuck. But that don't mean she shot her shot. But I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to give all the details. Who knows? Anyhow, in this chat, Everson and Imani start flirting. And Brew talks about he's playing matchmaker. But baby, that match has already been made. Now let's talk about Everson real quick. This, are you trying to be a mama comment? Dang, I can't see my face. But sir. No, sir. Everson gives me... First off, not my type of vibe. Not my type of guy. Like, it's cringy every time he flirts because he goes there. Like, he goes there. Like, there meaning sexual. It's like, bruh, chill. And it's so cringe. It's so cringe to watch Everson flirt. Like, it really is. Anyhow, he reminds me, like, of a gas station dude. Like, please, Everson, sit down. Then we have Nathan. Now, Nathan decides to message Frank, and we find out this is their first one-on-one chat this entire game. Suspicious. So, Nathan decides to check in on Frank after the game. He uses this opportunity to throw Brew under the bus, though, saying that Brew told him to watch out for Frank because, they had, like, some, like, weak-ass alliance day 2 of the game, and then blocked that same person that was in their alliance. Now, I love the gameplay by Nathan. Y'all know I love Nathan. Nathan is a game player, and he's funny. But I like Brew. Like, Brew's kind of cute for real. Now, this is me, Brew, shooting my shot, okay? Here's my Instagram tag. But I hate that this is happening to Brew because I feel like it's going to lead to something bad. Frank is wondering now that maybe Brew is the person who drew the snake picture. But then I just want Frank to remember those deep conversations that he's had with Brew. And you've never spoken to Nathan. Like, come on. Like, wait what's going on here. But that is the end of episode 11. So let's jump into episode 12. So with episode 12, I'm like, you know what? It's a lot of people still in this game. So there has to be a double blocking this episode. So let's see. After a good night's sleep, everybody wakes up thinking about the game. Obviously, Yuling had nightmares about her portrait because who the fuck would not? Frank is thinking about that, maybe Nathan was just trying to be strategic with the information about Brew. And Imani is happy that everybody is doubting each other because that would just be better for her/his game. Circle chats for this episode. Frank messages Yuling and Rachel and they check in on each other after the game. Yuling asks about Nathan and thinks that Nathan is the one who painted her portrait. Now, Frank mentions that Nathan DM'd him after the game, but he did not tell the girls about what. But they all kind of came to some type of consensus that Nathan has spoken to everybody, but gives a whole lot of nothing. Brew also messages Nathan this episode, and they check in on each other after the game. Nathan wants to know who Brew thinks drew his picture. And then he drops a pin that maybe it was the new people that drew Nathan and Yuling's picture because, they don't really know the people in the circle like that. And it's so funny because coincidentally, it was indeed the new people who drew y'all's pictures. So everybody gets a message from home and skip. No, I really want to skip this part because I personally could care less. But we find out that Everson just wants to make his mama proud. Like, who doesn't? I feel like as children, that is most of our ultimate goals, is to make our parents proud. Bruce's family is cute. I feel like he might be adopted because he's the only one that does not look like any of them. Just kidding. Like, that's jokes, but you know, they all look alike except for him. Rachel's parents seem fun. Alex/Nathan's girlfriend is kind of hot. Trevor gets a message from Delisa and all their babies, and they're talking about having another baby. And Frank gets a message from his friends who are repping their HBCU Howard shirts, okay? And then we find out that he has literally lost everybody in his family, both sides of his grandparents, and his parents. So that is why he really has his friends as his foundation. We also get a message from Yuling, and it's from her mom, her sis, and brother-in-law. I thought Yuling wasn't really close with her family, but okay, because she seems really close, at least to her sister. But anyhow, the bro-in-law is dropping strategy. He's like, keep being yourself. That's what got you to this point. But you at the end, and now it's time to use your head, okay? Remember who you are close to. They have a Thanksgiving meal in a circle chat. They bond. Whoop whoop. Finally, we get an alert. It's time to rank people, and the lowest ranked player will be going home. You don't get to plead your case. There will be no deliberating. How you rate this time needs to be strictly strategic, okay? Now, Brew puts Yuling first. And I forgot who he put second, but he puts Everson dead last because Bruce says, I don't want to be last, so I need to put somebody who was last still last. Everson puts money first and puts Yuling last. Now, I feel like Everson only has it out for Yuling because of what John/Mama Carol told him. And the moment you start playing somebody else's game is the moment you lose. I'll just say that that was done in season 2 too, with Courtney playing what is that girl name? Playing Sammy's game. I hated Courtney for that simply because I'm like, my dude. You know this girl for 2 days and you just gonna take what she says as bond. Like, no. Anyhow, Nathan puts Rachel first and puts Brew last because he's thinking strategically. Even though he is in alliance with Brew, he's thinking that maybe the seeds he dropped will have Brew placed low. So if I put Brew low, maybe Brew will go home over me. Now, Rachel puts Frank first and E-Money second. So she kind of puts, I guess they're insinuating that her relationship or her connection with Yuling dropped after that game. Frank puts Yuling first and Everson fifth. And then Yuling puts Frank first, Brew third, and Nathan in last position because I guess she thinks he drew her picture. And E-Money puts Frank fourth. Smart E-Money/Trevor, because despite their relationship, Frank has been the most liked player. He's been influencer 2-3 times. He needs to be ranked low. Like, if the lowest, like, oh my God, like, people are so freaking nice in this game, it's annoying. And Trevor and Nathan are the only 2 people that's really playing this game for a game. So we get an alert and the ratings are in. The lowest person who is rated will be immediately blocked. And it's not going to be one by one. They're just going to put the name on the screen. And to me, I immediately think production. I'm going to give y'all a little spiel about me. I majored in mass communications with a minor in psychology and graduated. But mass communication, all we did was study the media. I wrote so many papers on reality TV because I like reality TV, especially old reality TV. Anyways, I digress. So when I say production, okay, like production, okay. So I was thinking with this twist, it was either going to be Everson or Nathan to go home. But sadly, it was my new baby daddy Brew. And I'm sad and shocked. And so is 3/5 of the other players, which to me sounds like production. This might be a little bit off brand for me, but you can't let the cis heterosexual, privileged white male win. You can't. You can't. And I'm just speaking, like I said, from my major standpoint. Like, I research reality TV. I research media, politics, like, that. I knew Brew wasn't going to win, but I didn't think he would go out like this. But Brew does get to see someone before he leaves, and he chooses to go see Nathan/Alex. So Alex starts off by apologizing due to the twist. He knew it was either going to be Brew or himself, so that's why he rated Brew last. And he admits that he also threw him under the bus to Frank earlier too. And to be honest, you gotta respect the honesty. And Brew says the same thing. Like, it's like, damn, like, you throwing all these curveballs at me, but I guess I appreciate you being honest, but at the same time, fuck you. But Brew also admits that he was really being too nice in this game. So after their meeting, we get another alert, and it's going to be a double blocking. Just like I said, I got this shit down to a science. The alert tells us that the top rated player will be the secret super influencer, and they will get to decide who to block on their own production. And that person is Frank, yet again. So I keep saying production because at this point in the game, they know who they want to win. They know who they want to win. I'm going to say that. I'll say the rest for later. Okay, here we go. So, where am I at in my notes, child? Oh, Nathan or Everson will be blocked is my prediction. And for the first time ever, he's thinking strategically about taking out someone, he meaning Frank, by taking out someone who usually rates higher. But at the same time, Frank, those people who are rated higher usually rate you high. So I think that he should save that strategy for later. So we get an alert, and it starts off by revealing who the finalists are in no particular order. So if your name does not pop up, that means you are indeed blocked. And the finalists are Rachel, E-Money, called that, Frank, Yuling, and now it's in between Nathan and Everson, which is not really much of a surprise because they have been rating low the past 2-3 episodes. I personally feel like it can go either way with eliminating either one of these characters, and I'm gonna call them characters because production. So at the finalist dinner, you know, when everybody meets each other at the end before they go to like the finale, there has to be an element of surprise. So either way, if Nathan is a finalist, then that element of surprise will be, oh, Yuling, you've been talking to an older guy. If Everson makes it to the finale, that element of surprise will be, oh, Everson, you've been really flirting with a guy this whole time. So I feel like it could really be a toss-up between who can go, who can stay. But the episode goes off. In the preview, they show us we see Everson and Nathan both dressed up. So, you know. But let's just go ahead and go to episode 13. So, episode 13, we find out that Everson is the last finalist and Nathan, my game player, will be going home. Nathan decides to go see Yuling. I love that he mentions that he had a girlfriend the entire time while they were flirting. And they talk about how sweet Brew is. Now, Yuling and Nathan both think that Frank was the super influencer, and how Nathan thinks that Everson was the one who drew Yuling's picture. Well, we start a new day in the circle with an alert from Michelle talking about how they will rate each other for the last time later on tonight. The news feed is updated, and we get messages from Brew and Nathan. And Brew is so white. And I mean that like in the most wholesome way. Brew, I love it. Love your energy. Frank even said he left classy. And keep smiling, Brew. But unfortunately, some nice guys get blocked. Then we get our message from Nathan. Now, Nathan admits that he was catfishing as strictly strategy because he was in there to play a game, and he wanted to make sure that, oh, you're just a dumb 22-year-old frat bro. He ain't playing no game. He ain't no mastermind. But whole time I feel like people were trying to downplay Nathan, like, oh, Yulene, you were flirting with him, da da da. But Nathan actually kind of cute and his girlfriend hot. So I wouldn't be laughing too hard, Everson. Okay? I wouldn't be laughing too hard about flirting with the catfishes, because things could be not worse, but Okay, so the circle chat closes and we get an alert that it's time for them to make their final ratings. I believe that most of the players are going to be rating with their hearts, minus Trevor. By the way, that was a great cut edit between Rachel saying people are going to rate with their hearts and Trevor is like strategy. Great job. But I am Trevor in this moment because this is the last rating. Okay, even if I was genuine friends with these people, if I made loving, lifelong connections with these people, I'm here to win the money. All right. So I would rank Frank dead last, followed by Yulene, followed by Rachel being third last, and then Everson. And then, of course, because you got to rate backwards if you want a chance at winning. Because if they're rating with their hearts, quote unquote, then they're going to be rating authentically like they have been the whole time. And no, it's time to add your strategy for real when it comes to these ratings. After the circle pops up, while they're rating, they just show everybody's pictures on the screen and everybody gives their overall thoughts about these people. And to be honest, Rachel has the best reviews. So with that being said, I was like, is Rachel going to win this game? Because nobody really said anything negative about Rachel. But everybody else was looking at each other like either they're a threat or they're untrustworthy. So everybody gets to meet each other and let's talk about these outfits. Rachel, girl, what the fuck? This dress with the stockings and the boots? With the stockings and the boots? Yulene, I feel like she's a little bit too casual. I thought she really would have done more because I feel like she can dress. But she kept it cash. But her makeup is and always is popping, okay? Frank coming through in the blue, okay? Now, as they kiki and catch up, they're anticipating on what Imani would look like, that she'll smell good and have fresh manicured nails. But it's a whole guy. Trevor comes in. I feel like he's looking fresh, and everybody's like, oh, my God, he's so hot. They all have conversation how they think Everson might be a girl instead of who he presented to be. And that they even joke, it might be Delisha. Is your wife in this game? But now, I will give Everson his props because Everson is fly as fuck. But it's good vibes when they all come in and meet each other. They all talk about how they know Frank was the super influencer and why he sent Nathan home. Frank said that, it was just too late in the game to start trusting new people. So I'm going to just run with the people that I know. I feel like this is a fun top 5. It's very light and, whatever. I think Rachel, for some reason, is going to win because of that edit when they were, rating each other. She didn't have any bad reviews. But something in me is no, stick with Yulene and Frank because it's been Yulene and Frank this whole game anyways. So I'll get to that later. As the Eliminate cast reunites, let's talk about their outfits. Parker, this dress, no ma'am, but the makeup is popping. She looks beautiful. Krissa looks fly as fuck. Alyssa's dress is plain, but her body is rocking, so that's nice. Mama Carol / John looks nice. I feel like, it's nice. Him and Brew had some nice little wedding suits on. That's why I call them wedding suits. Nathan / Alex, I feel like he has a nice little plaid suit on with his little orange handkerchief, trying to swag it up a bit. Let's fast forward. We're in the finale now, and I'm going to kind of speed through this and give y'all my overall review of the show or production. So after chatting with all of the cast members and they go through the highlights and talk about strategy, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, they kind of emphasize the point that you should play a genuine game instead of strategy. It's a motherfucking game. Are you serious? Anyhow, now we're about to find out who wins the circle. Everson comes in 5th. Rachel comes in 4th. Yulene comes in 3rd. Now, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Because Trevor can't win. Like, Circle brand-wise, I see it. You know, oh, couple, da, da, da. Like, marketing-wise, I can see it. But that wouldn't be good for morale. Like, they already won $100,000. Why would you give them another $100,000? Like, when I saw that Trevor was coming into the game, I was like, oh, that's cute, but he's not gonna win. It's strictly promo. It's strictly for views. But then they got down to the bottom two, and I was like, wait a minute, well, hold the fuck on. So Trevor is indeed second, and Frank is our Circle winner. Now, first off, I cried. Okay, I just want to let that be known. I did cry when Frank won. Just a little tear. Now, if you think about how the storyline was set up, we knew Frank was going to win. That's what I mean by our production knows who they want to win. We learned the most about Frank, and we got the most about Frank. And I just honestly did not think that they would let another person of color win. Now, Yulene would be considered a person of color, but let's go down the line of winners. We had an Italian guy for the first season. Second season was... Who won second season? Oh, Delisa. Third season, I cannot think of his name, but he was a black guy. He was a comedian. And then season 4, I was like, they're not going to give it to another black person. Like, they're not. But I was wrong. I was right, but I was wrong. Like, storyline was telling me it's Frank. But I guess, like, researching me is telling me it's not. But then you got to think about Netflix. Netflix's brand is very open and inclusive. Very open and inclusive. I guess I could just leave it at that. That's why I said that Brew wasn't going to win. A cis hetero white privileged male, he's not going to win. Nathan's not going to win. Like, you could just count people out based on the brand of the network. If it was MTV, maybe. NBC, ABC, yeah. Like, but with Netflix, it's very inclusive. And I don't want to take that away from Frank's win, because out of all the people who were there, he's who I was rooting for. I'm rooting for everybody black, period. And I feel like he deserves it. Given his life, the stories that he shares, like, yes, give this man a win after taking so many hits and keeping his spirit. I just didn't think they were going to give it to another black person, to be honest. But I'm happy that they did. So with that being said, leave a comment down below. What were your thoughts on this season? Were your predictions correct? Are you happy with the winner? Did you think somebody else was going to win? Leave everything down in the comment section down below. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe for more content like this, okay? I'm going to give myself a little shameless plug because I get a lot of new viewers from my Circle reviews, but y'all need to subscribe and stick around. Like, this energy, like this commentary, it goes across content. It goes across content. It's not just for the Circle. So if you like my vibe, if you like who I am, go ahead and subscribe and stay tuned for everything I'm going to be dropping later. P-Valley is on my list of drops or for show reviews anyhow, if y'all watch that. And I think that's the only other new show I watched that's coming out. I wanted to review RuPaul, but the fandom, I don't think I can handle it. But anyhow, like I said, I do reviews on reactions. I do reactions, reviews, and commentary to movies and television. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if they have a season 5 of The Circle, you already going to be here. All right? So thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. It's a date.